Chapter 26. I slip out the back door so Mom doesn't see me leave. I don't have time to explain this to her, not when Riley's in danger. I ease the door shut and hurry, barefoot, across the yard. The dewy grass chills my feet, so I stop at the garage and pull on my mom's gardening boots. Then I start to run. I call Riley 3 times, but she doesn't answer. I'm out of breath when I reach her driveway. Riley's palatial house towers over me, its windows dark. I imagine the worst. Riley's body crumbled and broken inside the house. Brooklyn standing above her, blood dripping from the pocket knife clenched in her fingers. The horrors cycle through my head as I walk up to the house. Perfectly trimmed bushes line her driveway. The garden hose is tied up neatly, not a kink in sight. A handmade welcome sign hangs on the front door. This is all wrong. Riley's family doesn't deserve this. Brooklyn can't destroy their picturesque life. A curtain in one of the windows moves. My heart leaps in my chest. Riley? I stumble up the steps to her porch. I lift my hand and knock on the door. It creaks open beneath my fist. My whole body tenses. I should run, pretend I was never here. But the second I consider leaving, my grandmother's raspy voice whispers in my ear, Diablo, Diablo. Riley? I step into the dark hallway and run my hand along the wall. My fingers find the light switch, and the chandelier hanging from the ceiling blinks on. A bloody handprint stretches across the wall, like someone dragged their fingers over the paint. Deep gouges scratch into the wood, and the framed photographs lining the foyer hang crooked. Several have fallen to the floor, the glass in their frames spider-webbed with cracks. I take a step closer, narrowing my eyes at them. Someone's drawn bloody, smiley faces over the photographs. It looks like a child's finger painting. In the corner of one, I see the same pentagram symbol that had been drawn on my driveway under Grace's mutilated remains. Brooklyn's been here. A dull, buzzing noise echoes in my ears as I walk down the hallway. It's the cicadas outside, just like always. But they sound louder now, closer. The floor beneath my feet seems to tremble, like on the train tracks the night of the party. Any second my world could come crashing down around me. Riley? I call again. I make my way into the living room where I find overturned furniture scattered across the floor, a shattered television set, and pillows slashed open. A layer of downy feathers covers the carpet. I kick them up with my boots as I cross the room, studying the damage. The wispy white feathers stick to my jeans and my hands and my hair. They tickle my skin, sending shivers up my arms. Something drops onto the floor behind me with a thud. I spin around, heart hammering in my chest. It's just a book. Books have been pulled from all the shelves lining all the walls, their pages ripped from the covers, crumpled and tossed around this destruction like confetti. Brooklyn dragged her knife through the curtains, shredding them. She smashed through windows. Shattered glass glints from the carpet, and warm, sticky air moves what's left of the curtains. Eerie red twilight spills onto the floor, painting the entire room the color of blood and fire. Riley? I leave the living room and head to the staircase. Riley, are you there? I wrap my trembling fingers around the banister. As I climb each stair, they creak beneath my rubber boots. Brooklyn could be hiding inside any of these rooms, carving up Riley's body with her pocket knife like she did Grace, waiting for me. My hands shake. I stop in front of the first door and wrap my fingers around the doorknob. I'm allowed to be afraid, I remind myself, taking a deep breath of the hot, stale hallway air. I'm just not allowed to run away. I push the door open. It's just a coat closet, empty and dark. My shoulders slump, relieved. I reach forward and tug on the metal chain hanging from the ceiling. The light switches on, glinting off the fresh, bloody handprints covering the walls. The porcelain doll from the attic hangs from the ceiling, a thick rope knotted around its neck. Fire blackened most of her face and burned off her hair. Stuffing pokes through the ripped seams at her arms. Her eye sockets are empty, the cloudy glass eyes long gone. Shout to the. The music blares to life, startling me. I choke back a scream, searching the closet until I see the pink CD player on the top shelf. I stand on tiptoes and yank it down, letting it crash to the floor. Dropping to my knees, I rip open the deck and pull out the CD, flinging it back into the closet. I stand and slam the door shut again, heart racing. I squeeze my eyes closed, collapsing against the wall behind me. It's just a CD player, I tell myself. I make my way down the hallway, one room at a time. I open every single door, stilling myself for what I'll find behind it. I'm greeted with more destruction: a bathroom filled with shredded toilet paper, a guest bedroom empty except for a few broken pieces of furniture. I saved Riley's bedroom for last. I approach it slowly, like I'd approach a rabid dog or wild animal. I turn the knob all the way around so the lock won't click when I open it. Then I lean my head against the wood, listening. Silence, at first. Then I hear whispering. Riley? My voice shakes. I push the door all the way open and stumble into the room, preparing myself for what Brooklyn's done. But Riley's room is perfect. No broken furniture or shattered windows, no blood on the walls. I cross to her vanity table and flick on her lamp. Golden light spills over the scarves and glass bottles lining her vanity table, sending broken fragments of colored light flickering over the wood. It illuminates Riley's porcelain doll's glassy, lifeless eyes and the collage of photographs covering Riley's mirror. I pause in front of the mirror, running a finger along a photograph's edge. It's a picture of Riley, Grace, and Alexis at the lake house, all of them carefree and happy. When Riley first invited me into her room, I remember wanting my photograph to make it to her mirror collage, wedged between snapshots of Grace and Riley. Now that doesn't seem possible. I unpeel the picture from the mirror, studying Grace's and Alexis's faces. There's something hideous about their smiles, especially when I think of how they ended up. It's like the world played a cruel joke on them. Still, I slip the photograph into my pocket. Better to remember them like this, the way they were. I hear it again, whispering. I slide the photograph into my back pocket and start to turn. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Riley's bed reflected in her mirror. I freeze. Someone's there, lying beneath the comforter. Riley? The tension building in my chest suddenly releases. I exhale and race across the room. Jesus, Riley, I've been yelling for you. Are you okay? I fumble for the blanket's edge and pull it back. Alexis's dead body, flops onto its side. The few remaining wispy blonde strands of hair attached to her skull flutter away from her face. Blackened flesh bubbles like tar around the hole where her nose is supposed to be, and crispy red flecks of skin stick to the pillowcase. Skin peels away from her cheeks, letting bone and muscle poke through. Bile rises in my throat, but I can't look away. Alexis's teeth remain intact but blackened, and fire ate away her lips, leaving her mouth in a permanent snarl. Even her eyes are gone. All that's left are two sunken empty sockets. The sound starts again. It's not whispering, not exactly. It sounds more like dog clicking, fingernails snapping. I freeze and my stomach turns. Alexis's mouth drops open. Holy shit. I stumble backwards, staring. Something moves deep in Alexis's throat. It twitches in the darkness, and a tiny, hairy leg stretches over her teeth. The cockroach crawls across Alexis's tongue and spills onto her chest. A second clings to the roof of her mouth, antenna twitching. It watches me with glassy black eyes. Dozens of cockroaches pour out of her mouth and scurry down her body. They nestle into the charred remains of her clothes and dig into her blonde hair. A few burrow into her ears. They crawl on top of one another, gushing out of Alexis's nose and mouth and cracks in her skull. An antenna appears in the tissue of her cheek as a cockroach digs through the remaining rotten, weak flesh on her face. The clicking grows until it's too loud for me to hear anything else. A cockroach creeps over Alexis's burned stub of a chin and hisses. Tissue-thin wings unfold from its back. I scream until my throat goes raw. I back away from Alexis, trip over a pillow, and drop to my knees. The cockroaches multiply, blanketing the bed. They drip onto the floor in a brown, scaly mass. I try to push myself away, but I'm too late. Cockroaches skitter up my fingers and legs. Their tiny legs dig into my arms. They plow into my hair and slip below my clothes. One crawls along the neck of my t-shirt, then falls into my bra, antenna twitching against my skin. Another creeps along the side of my face and hisses in my ear. I push myself to my feet and race for the door. The floor lamp flickers, sending 2-foot-long shadows of cockroaches over the walls. I glance over my shoulder. The insects climb over the lampshade, wings fluttering. They're everywhere now, crawling up the walls and covering the floor. A thick layer of roaches swarms the window, blocking out the moonlight. I rip the door open and race into the hallway, slamming it behind me. Cockroaches click and hiss behind the wood, and I see their flickering shadows in the inch of space between the door and the carpet. I back up against the opposite wall. My skin itches. I feel them crawling over my body, slipping down my t-shirt, clinging to the back of my neck. I swat at my arms and legs, but my hands come away clean. I close my eyes, exhaling, and collapse against the wall. Something drips onto my nose. My eyes shoot back open. The ceiling swells with blood. Thick, tacky drops trickle down on me, coating my hair and shoulders, speckling my face. I push myself away from the wall, and my boots slip on the blood is splattered across the hallway as I run for the stairs. I grab the banister to steady myself. A cockroach crawls over my fingers, and I scream, shaking it off. The air moves behind me, and the clicking, hissing cockroaches fall silent. All the hair on the back of my neck sticks straight up. Someone's there in the hallway. I can feel her. I imagine Alexis climbing out of Riley's bed, sooty, ashy skin crumbling from her face with every step she takes. I don't look back over my shoulder. I don't want to know if I'm right. I take the steps to the first floor 2 at a time. The ceiling rains blood, and swarms of cockroaches crawl over my rubber boots. The weight of the staircase shifts beneath my feet. I feel that thing behind me, feel it closing in, reaching its raw, burning red hands out to grab me. I leap down the last 3 steps and stumble into the foyer, landing on all fours. Glass shards wedge into my knees and bite the palms of my hands. I push myself back to my feet and scramble out the front door onto the porch. The sky still burns with eerie light, like it's on fire. It's demon light, the devil's light. I don't stop running until I reach the curb, and then I collapse against Riley's mailbox, panting for breath. I glance back at the house, steeling myself for what's about to burst through the front door. But the house just sits there silently, its windows dark. Blood doesn't ooze beneath the front door. Cockroaches don't swarm the porch. The perfectly trimmed bushes rustle in the stale air, then go still. As I run from the house, the curtain at Riley's window flutters like it's saying goodbye.